Right about that time, it is on. Win or enjoy the offseason. Young Guns call out the vets. Pennington, Peyton, Vick, Favre. By ground or by air, it's J-E-T-S, Jets, Jets, Jets. For Indy, well, it's J-E-T-S, Jets, Jets, Jets. Vick isn't fazed by the Lambeau legend, while Favre and the Pack have more than history on their side. We are starting the journey to San Diego. NFL Primetime is next.
Presented by Miller Lite. Primetime is Miller time.
This is how we put it down on NFL Primetime. Chris Berman, ABC duty. I'm Stuart Scott sitting in with him alongside Tom Jackson. Wild Card Saturday, and we got two teams that weren't here in the playoffs last year, the Colts and the Falcons, and two starting QBs that have never been here in the playoffs, Michael Vick and Chad Pennington.
It was a lesson in fundamentals today, running the football and turnovers. We had two great young quarterbacks play today. You have to guess who they were, and a little history thrown in just for, as you would say, flavor.
A little flavor, a little flavor. We start in the Meadowlands where the Jets met the Colts in the postseason for the first time since Joe Willie Namath guaranteed and delivered a Super Bowl III win way back in the day. Right now, we got some close friends. Herm and Tony Dungy, best friends, former mentor and mentee. And Chad Pennington looked up to Peyton Manning when he grew up in Tennessee. First quarter, Pennington fakes one play to Richie Anderson. Peace. 56 yards. Longest pass play for the Jets this year. Longest scoring play for the Jets in the postseason in franchise history. TJ Breaker 19. We got a convoy here.
Stu, we're going to take another look, and we're going to point out three blockers, Anthony Beck, Kevin Mawai, and Randy Thomas, because the play was so well conceived, they didn't have to block anybody. Wayne Corbett was going to get one down the field, but those three guys could have fell down, and Richie Anderson still going to get into the end zone.
Next Colts possession, Manning getting his hook on with the guy who had a record 143 catches. Marvin Harrison for 15, liked it so much, decided to get his vibe on with him again. But still, Marvin the day, only 4 catches, 47 yards. That sets up Mike Vanderjagt. 42-yard field goal, yank. That's a yank, pull, dead yank off the tee. Next Jets possession, Pennington. Buttery smooth to Santana Moss. Moss, 5 catches, 42 yards. TJ, Pennington admits he doesn't have the strongest arm.
But he has beautiful touch. You saw that throw right there. He's going to go right over the top of the defense. Look at the linebackers. He drops it into Wayne Corbett and allows his receivers yards after catch.
So John Hall, from almost the same point that Vanderjagt missed, Hall was like an easy 8-iron. 10-zip Jets. On the ensuing kickoff, Troy Walters, who bobbled the opening kickoff, almost fumbled the opening kickoff, succeeds in fumbling this one. Ray Mickens recovers on the Colt 39. That sets up Lamont Jordan. Half-zone player, 1 yard. Touchdown. Jordan, 102 yards, 89 in the second half. TJ, more on that play from you later. More on the Colts' confusion now.
You have to have some balance offensively. The Colts were unable to run the football here. Josh Evans going to take advantage of that. Forced the third down incompletion. Then Edgerrin James on 3rd down and 1. Second quarter, important down, stuffed for a 2 to 3 yard loss. Colts held to 64 total yards in the first half.
Ouch! 134 left, 17-zip Jets. Curtis Martin, 8 straight 1,000-yard seasons. Kid has 11 tough yards, 15 carries, 67 yards on the day. That set up Pennington off the meter to Santana Moss. 7 touchdown passes for Chad the last 2 weeks. Santana Moss textbook.
Yeah, you take a look at the catch, then you freeze your feet in bounds. This is textbook, Stu. There to catch, he's got it. With his hands, he freezes his feet. We're going to take one more look. Walt Harris is the corner. Jason Dorian is the safety. Walt Harris leaves his man on an outside release. Tremendous hit on Anthony Beck right at the line of scrimmage, but Moss has the ball at the back of the end zone.
Yeah, great hit, but you let the guy score. Final play of the first half, Manning looking for the Hail Mary, forced to scramble. Peyton scrambling is not what the Colts want. I mean, he's our man, but he looks like Moe and Curly back there. Only sack of the day for the Jets, but it was huge. Second half kickoff, Chad Morton. Remember, kid took 2 kickoffs back in week 1. Peace. Y'all ain't gonna let him go, are you? He doesn't go all the way, but he gets to the 19-yard line. That set up a field goal, 27 zip Jets. Later in the third, Pennington to Corbett, sack. So smooth. Chad, 19 of 25, 222 yards. 3 plays later, Pennington to Moss. He completed those 19 passes to 9 different receivers. TJ, it looked almost effortless.
You watch him throw the football, and this pass to Chris Baker for a 3-yard touchdown, almost an exact duplicate of the one he threw to Santana Moss, and certainly Chris Baker just as open.
That made it 34-0 Jets. Fourth quarter, Manning pumps, throws down the sideline, and Damian Robinson has it. One probably plays for the other team, and Kyle Turley does not play for the Colts. Manning 14 of 31, 137 yards, 2 interceptions, another embrace by the friends, but the mentee beats the mentor. Jets win it 41-0. Joe Namath has morphed into Chad Pennington. Matt Snell has morphed into Curtis Martin. Don Maynard morphed into Lavernius Coles and Santana Moss and Wayne Corbett. The Jets beat the Colts again. The last 3 games, the Jets outscored their opponents 113-34. Colts get nothing. Defense, no picks the last 5 games. After the game, Sal caught up with a very happy group of Jets.
Herb, you just won your first playoff game in really dominating fashion. How did you do it?
Well, I just think our guys kept believing. You know, we didn't anticipate a score like this, but we got on a roll, and this team has a lot of will. And we talked about that, you know, Friday night about our will and what it took to win games like this, and our will prevailed today.
Your quarterback, Chad Pennington, just beat 3 pretty good quarterbacks in succession. Tom Brady, Brett Favre, and Peyton Manning. What has been the difference for your young quarterback?
Well, I just think it's poise and everyone playing well on both sides of the football. And you need to do that at the end of the year. We've been real fortunate. We've caught some breaks at the end, but we won some games we needed to win, and that's probably the best thing.
This is a great special moment, especially for Jet fans and our players and our organization. We're taking it to the next level, and that's what we're concentrated on, taking it to the next level and play for championships.
What can you say about your young quarterback, Chad Pennington, his performance this game in the last 3 weeks?
You know, I can't say enough about the guy. He's been a student in the game. He's sat in the shadows for maybe 3 years, waiting for his opportunity to come, and it came, and he's taking advantage of it.
Is this a Super Bowl team?
Hopefully.
All right, thank you. Back to you, Stu.
Sal, thanks a lot. Talking about setting a record. Ooh, they come close. Kinda. I mean, it's not 73-0, but the Jets tie the Giants for the 2nd largest postseason shutout win ever. And remember, the Jets do this on the same field that the Giants laid a 41-0 whipping on the Vikings a couple of years ago. Colts left to lick their wounds, and as Boom would say, what?
We obviously have some work to do, but we can't let this one performance put us so far in the tank we don't come out of it. We got to use it as motivation to understand, you know, the work that we have to get done next year. But it was a big disappointment for all of us, and we've got to grow from that.
If you win this one and lose next week, I don't think you're going to feel necessarily any better. Only one team's going to go home happy, and that's the Super Bowl champions. So that's a place where you hope to be somewhere, sometime. But obviously, it's not going to be this year. So obviously, it'll make it a longer off season when you have a loss like that. But we got it handed to us pretty good today by the Jets. But we'll try to learn from it, and we will be back. I will be back, and that's all we can say at this point.
Tommy, the last 3 games, Chad Pennington's biggest games of his life, of his career, of this season for the Jets, 59 for 82, 10 touchdown passes, no picks, over 700 yards passing. How does this team dominate so consistent?
Well, they're certainly a well-coached football team, but Chad Pennington raises the level of everybody's play on the football team. He started 13 football games. In those 13 games, they've had only 8 turnovers total. In 8 of those games, they've had no turnovers. That includes today. I think when you look at this football game, it was as close to a perfectly played game as you can have. They had no fumbles. They had no interceptions. They returned 1 kick during the day. They returned it for 70 yards. The offensive line did a great job. They ran the football 42 times for 180 yards. They had great balance. They won all areas. They won the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. Again, as close to a perfect game as I've seen played, and Chad Pennington is quite a player.
Pennington passing, check. Running game, check.
Everything.
Defense, check. What is it that the average fan doesn't see that they do well?
Well, anytime everybody's playing that well in the skill areas, you know that the offensive line is doing their job. And we took a close look at that today. We wanted to know what's going on at the line of scrimmage. The first play we're going to take a look at, Dave Zott and Randy Thomas, the guards on this football team, going to open up a nice hole for Curtis Martin. Curtis Martin had a pretty good day, 67 yards, but the guy who went over 100 was Lamont Jordan. Lamont Jordan here outside. Dave Zott going to pancake Sam Sword out there to get him outside for that 1-yard touchdown. Look at the perfectly formed pocket for Chad Pennington to deliver the ball to Lavernius Coles, and then this was such a beautiful play. First, the play fake that held guys at the line of scrimmage, but look how much confidence he has in that offensive line, turning his back to the line, knowing that he's going to have time, and then immediately dumping the ball off. A lot of times you see guys caught outside.
We go inside the numbers to check out Tony Dungy, and his last 4 postseason games, he's been outscored by a combined score of 104-18. And in those 4 losses, his teams have scored no touchdowns. He's a great coach and a great guy. His teams are not getting into the end zone in the postseason.
Inside the numbers, brought to you by Visa. It's everywhere NFL fans want to be.
Don't move, don't go anywhere. We got plenty more to come on Primetime, including a preview of Sunday's games. Quincy Morgan trying to lead the Browns, Tiki trying for another 200, and the Packers-Falcons highlight with Michael Vick coming. Don't move.
Time presented by Miller Lite. Life is best told at a place called Miller Time.
Falcons and Packers. Mike Vick leading the Falcons to the playoffs for the first time since '98, and Brett Favre is just Brett Favre, future Hall of Famer. Packers, Darren Sharper sitting this one out, sprained right knee. First quarter, no score. Tommy, kind of dangerous to chip a man 350 pounds, isn't it?
Yeah, Gilbert Brown there, the blocker carried him about 4 or 5 yards and then put him out, but I think Gilbert Brown would come back.
Another defensive starter lost for the Packers. First and 10, Falcons are on 43. Michael Vick to Warwick Dunn. Little Warwick, 18-yard gain, same drive. 3rd and 4, Vick as cool as the other side of the pillow. Rifles it in to Shane Jefferson. Falcons' first possession, touchdown all season, 7-zip burst. Ensuing Packers possession, 3rd and 7. Now remember what Brett Favre did against the Rams last year in the playoffs. He threw 6 interceptions. Not a good start for Brett. Keon Carpenter picks that one off. Next Packers possession, still 7-zip. Punting from their own end zone, and Josh Bidwell didn't have a punt blocked all season. That ain't the right time to do it. Mike Semino blocks it. Artie Ulmer recovers in the end zone. TJ Falcons up 14-zip.
Yeah, Mark Semino right up the middle of the football field. Artie Ulmer going to make the recovery. When you get your blocking scheme on punt protection, you do not want guys coming up the middle of the field.
Second quarter, Falcons punting. Eric Metcalf calls for the fair catch, but the ball bounces off of a Packer. Fumble, Falcons recover. But TJ, did it really hit a Packer first, or did it hit a Falcon player first?
We're going to take a couple of looks at this. This is the one that the refs show. Kevin McCadden is the guy for the Atlanta Falcons. Clearly, you can see the ball hit off his shoulder there. Why didn't Mike Sherman challenge the call? Because he was told by an official that he couldn't challenge the play.
Ensuing Falcons possession, all the breaks going Atlanta's way. Algie Crumpler, Tar Heel got under it for a 9-yard gain, and then TJ Duckett. I'm just going to say TJ's take. Into the end zone.
We wondered where he was last week. 1st and goal from the 1. We know he's in a Falcon uniform this week as he drags the rest of the Green Bay Packers about 5 yards into the end zone.
Second quarter, Packers going for it. 4th and goal from the 2. Packers looking like the Falcons against the Browns last week. Ahman Green stuffed TJ nothing.
Yeah, Ellis Johnson, a great job here of jumping over the block, making his way into the backfield. Great penetration. Dropping for about a 4-yard loss right there.
Next Falcons possession, 2nd and 11. 2 tears in a bucket, so I said duck it. The rookie from Michigan State. Not a fumble, 13-yard gain. And then the next play, you hit him with the size, then you hit him with Warwick. 21-yard gain for the guy who used to play for the Bucks. 2nd and 7 from the 41, Michael Vick. Averaged 6.9 yards a carry this year, best in the NFL, and that's just ridiculous, Tommy. I mean, that's just ridiculous. 3rd and 3 from the Packers. This is even more ridiculous. Kabir Bajabiamila has him, right? My bad. Michael Vick third most rushing yards in a season ever by a quarterback, got 11 yards. Kabir's like, you got to be kidding me. Third quarter, 24-0, Pack 30-11. Favre to Donald Driver for the touchdown. 13 straight postseason games with the touchdown pass for Brett Favre. Ties Dan Marino all time. Driver, though, re-injured his right shoulder, left the game. Favre trying to fire up his troops. Vick, pressure. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Told you he averaged 6.9 yards a carry. In this game, he averaged about 6 yards a carry. Falcon field goal made it 27-7. Brett again, trying to do work again, picked again. Keon Carpenter's second of the game. Favre is bummed. And watch this, TJ. What happens here late in the game?
Brett Favre slips, he gets hit from the side, ball's out, Falcons have it. Game, set, match.
First time ever. We say it again. The first time ever. That's a freaking dirty bird right there.
That was the first time ever, too, watching Wade Phillips dance.
Hopefully it's the last time. First time ever the Green Bay Packers lose a playoff game at home. It had never happened. They were 13-0 all-time, the Packer organization. They were 11-0 all-time at Lambeau Field. That streak done. Over. Michael Vick, very efficient game. He has about 60 yards, a little bit more rushing, just over 100 passing, but he won the game. And after the game, R.N. Kreider caught up with the Falcon Pro Bowl quarterback.
Mike, you're young, you play in a dome. How is it that you come in here and not be intimidated?
Just come in and play your hearts out. You know, each and every man on both sides of the ball come out and play. You know, do what you can, you know, not try to do too much, and just let the system work for you. And that's what we've been talking about all week, and it's worked for us.
No one's ever beat this cold weather team in a cold weather game in the playoffs. What does it mean to be part of history?
Oh, man, it's great. You know, only in my first year to be 22 years old, to come out and get a win against a tough Green Bay team. You know, I really have to take my hats off to the guys around me and give glory to God, because, you know, that was the key to the whole thing.
All right, Mike, thanks for the time. Back to you, Stu.
And thanks. We go inside the numbers for Brett Favre's last 2 playoff games against the Rams last season. And this one, 2 touchdown passes and 6 interceptions against the Rams. In this one, more bad drama for Brett Favre. And in those 2 games, just 48% of his passes he completed. Brett Favre did not talk to the media after the game. His coach did.
Well, I'm not going to jump ship on a team that won 12 games for me and won the division and won every home game. We did a few things right this year in the regular season. We didn't do them right in the postseason. And in Green Bay, you're measured by championships, not by wins. So that's how I feel about that.
The youngest starting quarterback in the NFL, Michael Vick, beats a guy, Brett Favre, who's 3rd on the all-time touchdown list, and beats a guy, Brett, who's leading a team, the Packers, that had never lost in this situation. How does he have the poise to do it?
Well, Mike Vick lives, I think, for these situations just like he did when he played for the national championship in college. The thing I wonder today is, would he get the help he did defensively? They played an outstanding game. They got a couple of great plays out of their special teams, including a block punt that led to a touchdown. His receivers did a good job of catching the ball. Short yardage handled by T.J. Duckett. Warwick Dunn out in space. So a lot of people contributed. I thought his offensive line did a good job of battling for him. And let's give credit to Dan Reeves as a head coach. He's won championship games now in Cleveland, in Minnesota, and now he's beating the Green Bay Packers, who had never lost a home playoff game. So he's an outstanding coach in every single way. And I just think, look at his team. Michael Vick, again, the X factor. Nobody knows what's going to happen.
Dan Reeves actually threw a touchdown pass in the Ice Bowl back in '67. We got more to come here on NFL Primetime. We're going to preview Sunday's games. Hines Ward can catch him and can score. Terrell Owens can score, getting drilled. You won't want to miss this.
Primetime, presented by Miller Lite.
Wild card weekend this weekend. 4 wild card games, 4 QBs making their first playoff start. And of those 4, 3 of them will get wins. Pennington and Vick on Saturday. And since Kelly Holcomb and Tommy Maddox face each other on Sunday, somebody's got to win, so that's 3 or 4. You get the math, right? We have previews on both Sunday games, beginning with Ed Werder.
The Steelers are likely to begin their playoff run without 2 key defensive starters. Linebacker Kendrell Bell and cornerback Chad Scott missed practice all week with injuries. Their likely replacements are rookie Larry Foote at linebacker and veteran Deshae Townsend at cornerback. Coach Bill Cowher told me he won't panic. He said, "We'll be fine." But he does have concerns that the Browns will put in 4 receivers and spread the field and throw the football, even though Kelly Holcomb has never started a playoff game at quarterback. He also has to be worried about the running game. William Green, who had just 26 yards rushing when the Steelers beat the Browns twice in the regular season, has averaged 104 yards rushing per game over the final 7 weeks of the regular season. For more on the 49ers and Giants, let's go to Andrea Kramer.
After Saturday morning's walkthrough here at the stadium, the Giants players were off until evening meetings. But quarterback Harry Collins called on all his skilled players to get together and watch tape. Head coach Jim Fossil said that's what he's preached all season about taking ownership of your job. As for Collins, Niners defensive coordinator Jim Mora told me what the quarterback does well is retreat and throw, but his accuracy is affected when he moves laterally. So Stuart, look for San Francisco to get pressure up the middle using the blitz to try to force Collins to move around.
Andrew, thank you very much. You've seen the previews. You want to check out the highlights and analysis. Chris Berman back in this chair for NFL Primetime Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Chris and my man TJ will have highlights, analysis of Browns, Steelers, Giants, 49ers. If you missed this, we will come turn your cable off. When we come back, Tommy and I will hand out our game balls. We're dishing them out. Who you think gonna get one? Did you watch the games today? Don't be shocked, y'all. Don't sleep.
Tomorrow on Sunday NFL Countdown. In Pittsburgh, division rivals meet for the 3rd time. But how different are these teams than the ones that met 9 weeks ago? Shockey against T.O. Who'll get a chance to show off their end zone moves? Plus, Keyshawn Johnson joins us in the studio. Donovan McNabb lets us know how his foot's feeling in Philly. And our old coach and the Cowboys' new coach stops in for a visit. All this and much more tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern, Sunday NFL Countdown.
My game ball goes to Michael Vick, 13 of 25, 117 yards passing, not great, 10 carries, 64 yards running, but it was the way he did it, just utterly and completely dismantled the Packers.
So did my game ball winner, Stu. It goes to Chad Pennington, 19 of 25. You said it, he hit 9 different receivers. He is the dominant quarterback in the league right now.
On the team that's playing the most
The
dominant
team
football.
is the dominant team in the league right now.
I'll tell you this about the Falcons, though. Going back to last year, including the playoffs, the Packers 16-2 at home. Both losses coming to the Falcons. For TJ, I'm Stuart. We're throwing 2 fingers at him. Out.
NFL Primetime is a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com.